Today I fucked up by fisting my girlfriend for the first time. Small little tiny mini background detail, I don't do well with blood at all. I feel nauseous at the sight of it and either pass out, throw up, or both on rare occasions. Keep that in mind. So a couple nights ago, my girlfriend and I naturally are bored and get it on and decide to try a few new things. It keeps the fun in sex and keeps it light-hearted, no harm done, right? We stay within each other's boundaries and still are relatively vanilla. Just some simple stuff you'd find in a Cosmo magazine to keep it spicy. Scene set, we're in the bedroom, Barry White playing over the Bluetooth speaker, hair down, clothes off, dick out, etc. Down to foreplay and teasing, when out of nowhere she asks me, put as many fingers in me as you can. Now, here's the thing. We're both young and are pretty close to each other's firsts for everything. Even two can hurt her sometimes and be way too tight. We typically just stick to one. Of course, I'm caught off guard and think she's joking. She had to be joking. I was sure until she started moving my hand down. Nervously, I keep asking her, are you sure? Won't this hurt? She shakes her head, and we work our way up in number over time. We reach our normal max of 2, and she's still relaxed. Once we get up to 3, I'm astounded, since she's never been able to take this. 4, I'm completely lost. Eventually, she asks me to see how far I can put my hand in and if I can use the entire thing. I refuse at first, thinking I'm for sure going to hurt her, but hey, she asked for it. I get up to the bottom of my palm. I look at her, and she just smiles. In fact, she sheepishly says she kinda likes it. So I keep going and going, hoping surely she'll tell me to stop. And at a certain point, she winces. Now, if you remember what I said at the beginning of the post about not really doing great with blood, you'll see why. I slowly pull my hand out, and first off, it feels wet, and I mean wet. Second, it smells like copper. I already know exactly what happened. We turn the lamp on and dear fuck, my hand. I'm not even joking when I say it looked like a deformed, fresh newborn. Between the blood, and what I can only describe as vagina pulp you'd find in a Minute Maid carton, I can't. I start to feel super lightheaded and fall face first into her chest, completely zonked out for a couple seconds. That little CS2 is broken by me running to the bathroom as quickly as I can, almost completely naked, and retching into her toilet. Barely made it. After I'm done puking up my dinner I made us earlier, I hastily wash my unbirthed baby hand and get any other speck of blood/pulp off. It takes ages, thanks to discharge being literal egg white and slime. Coming back, she's dying laughing, I just want to cuddle. What a night, dude. A couple days later, she's still a little sore, but otherwise okay. Still wants to try again. I'm good. Too long didn't read, tried fisting my girlfriend for the first time, threw up at the sight of my bloody hand. Use lube and lots of time, kiddos. Lube, lube, lube. I cannot stress that enough. When you think you've gotten too much lube on you, on her, and in her, use more. The really thick kind too, not baby oil, or KY even. Like 30W lube. Okay, that's a joke, but you get the idea. Never get baby oil near a vagina unless you're into UTIs. Your girlfriend is hardcore to be laughing and not freaked out herself. Wow. Oh my god, is she okay? Sounds like that would have hurt her a lot. Sounds like she got her period to me. As someone who can only fit 2 fingers, this hurt to read and my vagina sew itself up, thanks. When you said pulp you'd find in Minute Maid I absolutely fucking lost it. LMFAO, I am dead. Today I fucked up by buying a silver-plated ring. Obligatory not today but a few months ago, also on mobile, so give me a break in formatting. So I decided I was going to be a good husband and buy my wife something nice. However, I'm an E2 in the army, so I don't make a crazy amount of money. Nevertheless, I wasn't going to let this stop me from getting my wife something to show some appreciation toward her, so I go to Walmart, and begin looking at some rings. My wife doesn't wear a lot of jewelry, but I figured it would be something she'd like, so I see a ring labeled silver-plated, not my dumbass infantryman brain goes, hey, armor-plated is a good thing, silver-plated must also be a good thing. And I, for very obvious reasons, agreed with myself. I purchase the ring and present it to my wife, who loves it, She wears it everywhere, and I'm happy thinking I've done a good thing. Until a few months later when her finger begins to turn green as the silver plating wears off. The following conversation. Me, why is your finger green? Wife, the ring you gave me must have been silver plated instead of sterling. Me, what's that got to do with it? Wife, the plating wears off and then this is what happens. Me, but an armor-plated vehicle is a good thing, a silver-plated ring must also be a good thing. My wife didn't reply, she just laughed at me as I tried to explain that since armor-plated vehicles were superior to non-armored vehicles, that a silver-plated ring must be superior to a not silver-plated ring. We had a good laugh and I learned a good lesson. Too long didn't read, armor-plated good, silver-plated bad. Maybe she's a werewolf and she's just covering her tracks. I had never considered this possibility. It would also explain why she's such a night owl. Further testing is needed, still update. Some helpful info for the future: buying plated jewelry is just fine, and indeed much cheaper. Just look for plated jewelry that is nickel free. That way, if any plating wears through, it won't turn the skin green. Get her some armor-plated rings. Win-win for both. Now that is practical problem solving at its finest. Been hanging with some infantry boys and not surprised at this story at all. You all some wild ones. Smiley face. Very sweet that you tried, and best of luck to working your way through the ranks to afford non-plated jewelry. If she liked the ring, cleaning it and putting a coat of clear nail polish will prevent it from going green for a while so she can keep wearing it. Today I fucked up by taking CBD gummies before a tattoo appointment. Hi Reddit, this happened at approximately 12:45 p.m. today. I had a tattoo appointment, the second session of a tattoo I started before quarantine and was going to finally finish at 2 p.m. So I got out of the shower at 12:30 and decided to take a few CBD gummies that I bought from my local smoke shop the day before so they would kick in when I got to the tattoo parlor, because I took some for my first session and it helped greatly with the pain. So I take the gummies, I take 3 plus 100 milligram ones. I figured the more the merrier because I was getting shading done on my tattoo which I know is particularly painful, at 12:30. So I take them, don't think much of it, and start doing my hair. The tattoo place is an hour away so I was about to leave when I feel a sudden, drastic shift in perception. At first, I think it must just be a panic attack. I get them often. So I try to calm down and tell myself it's okay, just a panic attack. Calm down, but my usual methods didn't work this time. It felt like I was getting more and more panicked and fucked up by the second, and losing grip on my reality more and more. I thought I was having a stroke at first, which made my panic worsen to the most it ever has in my life. I called my boyfriend in absolute panic saying both nonsensical phrases and things like I'm going into psychosis, I'm going crazy, please help. I felt like I needed to go to the hospital and was absolutely convinced I was going to die and that the CBD had something similar but way more intense than THC in it. My boyfriend reassures me over and over again that I wasn't fucked up from the CBD, because, you know, CBD can't get you high, and says it's just a really bad panic attack. I try to believe him, but this was unlike anything I had ever experienced. I tell my boyfriend I need to just tell my parents something's wrong. I'm 19 and live with them, so I knew they could get me to the hospital the fastest, and they have to bring me to the hospital. At this point I can't recognize objects and I'm completely and utterly disconnected from all reality. When I looked around I had no depth perception. All I remember from that part is walking downstairs and making a complete fool out of myself by saying I needed my mom to take me to the hospital and I took laced CBD and was going into psychosis. She looked at me like I was a fucking idiot and angrily agreed to bring me. I continue going insane on the car ride to the hospital while having auditory hallucinations, and feeling insanely high on the world's worst drug. My body was numb and my mouth was bone dry. I knew this made no sense though, because all I took was CBD. When we arrived at the hospital at 2 o'clock I had calmed down a considerable amount but was still feeling high and very strange, but had come down to the point where I knew I was just fucked up, not actually dying, so I shamefully just had my mom bring me home because getting a drug test to know what the hell I took was not worth $2,000 in hospital bills. On the car ride back, I had just started to come down to the point of being extremely baked. but not panicking. I texted my tattoo artist saying there was a medical emergency and apologized that I would have to reschedule. When I got home I was considerably more sober than an hour earlier but still very fucked up. My dad had me show him the brand of CBD I took and he looked it up online. Turns out, other people have had the same horrible experience as me because the brand was known to put synthetic cannabinoids aka a spice in their products. I felt both relief that I wasn't going crazy and I actually had been drugged by something awful, and horror that I had taken a lot of fucking spice, which I have never wanted to try because I've heard it always produced a nightmarish high, and I can attest to that. I texted my boyfriend that I actually did get fucked up from the CBD gummies because they had spice in them and I wasn't just going insane. At this point it is 3:45 p.m, I've been at home in bed for a while and I am quite high from the spice still but I'm doing much better. However, now I lost my $60 deposit at the tattoo studio and my parents have officially lost any respect they still had for me. I'm so embarrassed about the whole situation and it still feels so surreal. Of all things, taking an ungodly amount of spice by accident and acting like an absolute insane person in front of my disappointed parents was not high on my list of things I wanted to do today. Too long didn't read. I took what I thought were just some CBD gummies to dull the pain of getting a tattoo. Turns out they had synthetic cannabinoids in them and I took 3 at once. Entered a living hell for hours and acted like a complete crazy person to my parents and even made my mom drive me to the hospital and now I'm ashamed to look them in the eye. So, I'm down $60 because I lost my deposit for cancelling my tattoo appointment. Today has not been my day. Jesus. Glad you are okay now. Maybe time to start researching what you put in your body a bit more thoroughly, no judgment. Yup, lesson learned. I trusted that CBD and smoke shop and just assumed all its products were regulated I guess. I didn't know sneaking other drugs into CBD products was something companies did. I doubt it's legal to put unlisted shady drugs in CBD products so I'll probably let the shop I bought it from know what's in them. Goodness gracious, that is absolutely terrifying. Thankfully you're okay. What brand were they? I would like to not end up buying them. They are super chill. Products brand. I looked them up after I sobered up. I saw that they are owned by Diamond CBD, who knowingly puts synthetic cannabinoids in their stuff. Fuck spice/K2/synthetic stuff should be so damn illegal. It's a good heads up though, people research your edible brands, flushed face. Yes, I wouldn't wish the experience I had today on my worst enemy. I bought these from a legal smoke and CBD shop so I'm absolutely shocked they did this to me. I honestly can't believe a company is putting spice inside a supposed CBD product. I couldn't believe your story was true, but I did the most brief Google search and plenty of other people are confirming your experience. This is absolutely nuts. I know. I'm tempted to sue the company because these products need to be taken off shelves. I don't want anyone else to suffer like I did. But I have no knowledge of how I would even begin to go about taking legal action or if it would be worth my time and energy. Your parents are likely actually proud of you and respect you more than you think. When we fuck up and admit it, that's exactly what our parents have always taught us to do. You came to them when you were in trouble, which shows maturity.